Hey guys, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching doing a quick review off the 5-minute charts of ES and NQ for the day. So if you will just take a look at this really quick, it just basically says past performance is not indicative of future results. This is for educational purposes only. I am basically sharing my trade plan with you in hopes that it makes you a better trader. However, my trade plan is not for everyone, right? So first, let's just go with the day session here instead of looking at the overnight session. Let's use the day session. There we go. And what you will see today, once we unscrunch this, and let me erase my lines here. Okay, so coming into the day, this was my upside target. On ES, we clearly did not get to it, right? We opened up above the support. We opened up above support resistance. So really, when a zone is like this, the yellow zones are the important areas here, right? And so when you have a prior day's high and a support resistance area, right, you really have to consider the whole box, the area, as your zone. So if you look at it from that perspective, we never really got above the zone to turn it into a support resistance area. We did overnight, but from the US session perspective, we opened up. We fell underneath the zone. Now, in order to get a short here, for me, in this area, just from the chart, right, I would have wanted to see a close underneath, backside test, and then fall down. It doesn't always happen, right? The market does what it wants to do. Once we were underneath, this was resistance. You needed to get in order to get a push to the higher zone. You had to have 4203 hold this morning, and clearly this told you they weren't able to do so after trying for 15 minutes here. You can see they tried to do it. So when a zone fails, right, if a zone fails, the next natural question, so this is important, particularly guys in the room, right, because we need to know where the market's most likely going. When a zone fails, the prior day's point of control, the POC, acts as a magnet. You can see here we push down to a magnet. Now, let me tell you about the POC. People like to trade the POC because when the market's strong, it acts as support and pushes out. This is a dangerous game because more likely than not, it's going to chop inside the point of control. And you can see here that if you were someone who used tight stops, let's say you got the long here and you put your stop here, it took you out. Then it comes up, right? And you think, now I've got it. I'm going to take it long again. There's my head and shoulders. Takes you out again. Then pops back in again and falls down. So see how choppy and bouncy it gets inside there? Let me erase all that. Okay, so we come in, chop, 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 and then you'll notice this is value area high, value area low. So Dalton calls these weak areas. Why are they weak areas? This two purple areas, this is coming off a profile. Because retail traders tend to be attracted to them, and they tend to have about a 50-50 win rate, right? And you can see, right, when we get to value area low, they attempted to rotate. Where? Right back into Chopsville, right? Then they finally fall, come right into the anomaly. Now look at the difference between this anomaly down here, the price action associated with it, and the price action associated with this. Which would you rather choose? The easy answer is location, location, location. These at least were clean and gave a clean rotation. You can even see here, even though it failed, in, out, and then when it came down, it was straight clean, right? It wasn't hours of chopping. Long time chopping, in, right? Now remember, when you have a single print, so single prints are variable. In a strong market, the single prints will hold. The top and the bottom will hold. In weak markets, it's kind of more of an iffy proposition. But when you combine the single prints, with the zone, right? And so this essentially creates a border between two different technical setups, right? You tend to get a strong response where those two pieces merge together. And that's exactly what you got. That's why we were looking at 41.84 for the long. 41.84. Now think about it. Where's the market want to go if the support level holds? The support level holds. The market wants to go to 41.94 to 41.96, which is prior day's point of control. It acts as a magnet. It's a great target. It's a hard place to trade, right? You can trade there. You just have to have a ton of patience to make it work, and tight stops tend to get eaten up there. I prefer not to trade there, right? And then, as you can see, towards the end of the day, we came back in. This is the second time into the zone. You got a response, right? And then finally, at the very end of the day, they try to push further into the single prints, and this was a blah trade. All you had here really is you took out the prior day's low, and it became kind of a chop fest there at the end of the day. And that's all there is to say about today's price action. Really, if you cut it off by 11 o'clock, you had the potential to have a pretty good day. It certainly got difficult in the afternoon. It was pretty sloppy trading overall. If you focused your trading on the yellow zones, you had a much easier time. And again, the pace was slower today, right? Let's go look at NQ really quick. Same ideas, right? So the reason why I'm repeating this concept over and over and over again is because the ideas repeat. They repeat. They repeat. They repeat, right? So if you look at this, let me find my NQ chart. NQ 5 minutes. Not that 5 minute chart. Let's try the other one. NQ 5 minutes. There we go. Okay, so looking at the same idea again, we use smaller range bars to get to ultimately find our entries, right? And you can see NQ was a little bit different today, right? So we're going to use the day session. Okay, so if you look, this is 8:30. So you can see straight away, and no, I did not take the short out of the gate. We opened up, pushed into the zone, and rejected out right away. I have a hard time taking the trade at 8:30 in the morning, particularly after the day was so strong the prior day. Was it right? Nope. The zone was correct, but I didn't take the short, right? And in this case, I traded quite a bit out of the point of control here, right? I was trading out of this point of control quite a bit today. Now, someone might ask, well, why did you do that? Because as you can see, NQ is just a chop fest the majority of the day. And I can answer that question quite effectively, right? So when a market's really strong, right, NQ the point of control will act as a support area. However, you have to have a lot of patience to make it work, which is what I tried to make it work, which is what I tried to make it do. And it was setting up on smaller levels, which I'm not going to go into here, right? But what didn't happen for me today is all day long, I was actually trying to get on all my long trades to get this area retested up here, and I could not get it done, right? So if you look behind it, was I profitable in NQ today? Yeah, I actually had a good day. Did I trade it well? That's a different question, right? Did I trade well? No. What I wanted to happen today, where I really wanted to launch, is to get into this area right here and push. So how is it that we got our best trade of the day out of this 1030 area over here on NQ, which it really lifted quite nicely? You had really good profits coming out of this area, right? And all this was a lot of times. So ES was leading to the downside. It had been the laggard all day long. I crossed markets and crossed levels, and I knew we couldn't get to a support level, but NQ was showing to me relatively more strength than ES was. So when ES got here at 10:20 in the morning, I assumed NQ would bounce with it, and we got to set up on a micro level at that same time. Let me erase this for you. So this is 10:20 right here, right? We got ES long, right? We had the support level right in here, and so you'll notice in this case, right, I took a weak location, what I consider a weak location because it's value area low. I grabbed value area low, and it slingshotted it back to the other side of the range, and we kicked it out here. I took one more trade in here somewhere, and it worked out, but it didn't work out. I just was never able to slingshot it. What I was able to do here, let me explain it since I've talked to you about it, guys, is that at the bottom we'll have these waves. Let's see if I can move this over. Right, like if you look at that 10:20, so I'm going to cut to the chase because this is kind of my microscope that I look underneath. And if you look at 1020, that's right. Roughly right here. So this is where we were looking for the setup, right? And you can see this looks quite different than the 5-minute chart, right? And this is the last push down into the low here, right? And you can still see the lines here, the lines that are setting up. So two things that were pretty important. This bar was pretty important to me right here. Getting above that bar was pretty important. And then finding a way to create a head and shoulders, which I thought they would use this fractal right here for that head and shoulders process. And you can see here as we push down. So first of all, we push down, we don't get the setup that we're necessarily looking for. But then this bar right here, guys, so the guys in the room will know what I'm talking about. Switch to this bar right here. See that bar right there? See that wave? That wave became the most important. Not going to say why, not on YouTube, right? So this became the, so remember guys, this became the entry, right? That's the high odds entry right there on that bar. Then we want to enter on the backside test. We don't want a full bar to close back underneath this line right here. We did not want that. So it's enter, add, push. That's my last trade of the day today, right? Enter, add, push. So, and that aligned with, remember, that aligned with this chart, ES, which was leading to the downside. Let's see, that's Bitcoin. NQ, let's see if we can find that NQ chart one more time. Excuse me, that ES chart. There we go. There it is. So that time frame, right, aligned with that 1025 to 1045, where we were in this zone, and it made perfect sense to get long there in ES as well. So that's our day. That's where we got. That's where we got paid. It was not an easy day because of the chop inside the value area high and the value area low. And what I look forward to tonight, assuming that we can push lower on ES, is so this zone's already been tested, so I'll have to see what new zones pop up there. But I would love to grab the bottom of that poorly auctioned area. This 4174 to 4170 area should provide a good counter rotation. Again, back up towards this level would be my guess without looking at the actual profile. And on NQ, if we should get lucky enough for them to get sell pressure, I would very much want to try to find a trade at this 13,586 to 13,574. Lastly, guys, as you know, I've been charting the Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin cash market for today. And so this starts a little bit differently on time. I screwed up this chart a little bit. Let me fix it. It starts at, it actually starts at 2 a.m. because it's London. That's the beginning of the day for me on that chart. And there we go. So this is that right there, that 2 a.m. is the beginning of this chart. You can see we didn't quite make it up into resistance up here, right? It failed at value area high. Back to the point of control again. Prior day's point of control, horrible place to trade, right? You can see we made it to value area low. See why value area high and low? Here it works, here it fails. It's just kind of here it fails. It's just kind of coin flip. Again, right into the anomaly, right? Bounces out of the anomaly. Where does it go back to? The magnet. Point of control. I can't stress this enough. That is the secret to trading, guys. To understand the relationship to the anomalies, to the points of control. And you can see it was just chop, chop, chop the rest of the day. This 645 entry down here from 36.6 got you back to 38,185, and that was your P&L for the day on Bitcoin if you're trading Bitcoin. So hope everyone did well. My name is Simon. I'm a Trade and Perform Coaching. If you'd like to visit us in the room, email me. The email is Trade and Perform, TRADE, the letter N, not and, N, perform room@gmail.com. You're welcome to have a 3-day trial to the room, right? And we are going back to the basics of the room only at $99 a month, and the room with the software at $199 a month. So anyways, have a great day, guys. I hope you all made money. We did well in the room, and we learned a ton. We got better as traders, and that's the goal every single day. Have a great night. I'll talk to y'all later.